Des-Dopamine Nation, the chronicle of a generation in search of itself. It started subtly, didn't it? A flicker of the thumb over a glass screen, a moment of boredom erased by an endless scroll. We told ourselves it was just a way to pass the time, to connect, to unwind. But now, look around. Look at the faces illuminated by the pale blue light of their devices in cafes, on buses, even in the intimacy of their own beds. We are a generation with our heads bowed, not in prayer, but to the altar of the algorithm. We are the citizens of the Des-Dopamine Nation, a country of our own making, and the price of admission is our attention, our peace, and perhaps our very essence. This isn't a dystopian novel. This is our reality. And the question that hangs in the air, thick and unspoken, is, are we living, or are we just scrolling through the highlight reel of someone else's life, waiting for a surprise that never quite arrives? This chronicle is an invitation, a call to arms for the soul. It's a journey into the heart of our modern predicament, a quest to understand the invisible puppet master pulling our strings. A tiny, powerful molecule in our brains called dopamine. But more than that, this is a story of hope, a roadmap back to ourselves. It's a therapeutic exploration of how we got here and how we can, with courage and intention, find our way out of the digital haze and into the vibrant, messy, and beautiful reality of a life truly lived. To understand our collective obsession, our frantic search for the next hit of digital novelty, be it a viral video, a life-altering discovery promised in a 15-second clip, a new love interest on a dating app, or the validation of a like on Instagram, we need to take a little trip into the inner cosmos of our brain. Let's talk neuroscience, but don't worry, we'll keep it simple. More like a friendly chat over a cup of coffee than a dense textbook. Dopamine, often hailed as the pleasure molecule, is a neurotransmitter, a chemical messenger that plays a crucial role in our brain's reward system. It's the brain's way of saying, yes, that was good. Do it again. Our brains manufacture dopamine from an amino acid called tyrosine, and it serves many functions, from controlling movement to influencing our mood. But its most famous role is in the realm of pleasure, and perhaps even more importantly, motivation. When you eat a delicious piece of chocolate, your brain releases a small burst of dopamine, making you feel good and reinforcing the behavior of eating chocolate. The same happens when you receive a compliment, win a game, or achieve a goal. This is the brain's natural, healthy reward system at work. It's a system that has been fine-tuned by evolution to motivate us to seek out things that are good for our survival and well-being. However, the modern world has hacked this ancient system, and this is where our story takes a sharp turn. You see, there are different dopamine pathways in the brain, and understanding this distinction is key to reclaiming our autonomy. The first, and the one that has us in its grip, is the mesolimbic pathway, often called the reward pathway. This is the primitive, impulsive part of our brain that is primarily concerned with immediate gratification. It's located in the more ancient reptilian part of our brain, and its primary message is, I want it now. When we engage in activities that provide a quick, easy, and intense hit of pleasure, like scrolling through social media, playing video games, or eating junk food, this pathway lights up like a Christmas tree. The problem is, this pathway is not designed for the constant high-frequency stimulation it receives in our hyper-connected world. It's like revving a car engine in the red zone for hours on end. Eventually, it's going to burn out. Then there is another, more sophisticated dopamine pathway, the mesocortical pathway. This pathway connects to our prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for higher-level thinking, planning, and long-term goals. This is the part of the brain that allows us to dream of a better future, to work towards a meaningful career, to build lasting relationships, and to create something of value in the world. The dopamine produced in this pathway is not about the quick fix. It's about the sustained motivation and drive to pursue our nobler, more constructive aspirations. It's the quiet, steady hum of purpose, not the jarring, fleeting buzz of instant gratification. Our current relationship with screens and social media is throwing this delicate balance out of whack. We are, in essence, overstimulating the primitive reward pathway at the expense of the more evolved, goal-oriented part of our brain. The constant novelty, the unpredictable rewards, and the social validation offered by these platforms create a potent cocktail of dopamine hits that our brains find irresistible. We are becoming addicted to the scroll, the swipe, the like. Dr. Anna Lembke, a psychiatrist at Stanford University and author of the groundbreaking book Dopamine Nation, Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence, puts it brilliantly. She argues that our society has become a dopamine nation, a world where we are constantly seeking out pleasure to avoid pain. But here's the paradox. The relentless pursuit of pleasure, Lembke writes, inevitably leads to pain. This is because the brain, in its quest for balance, or what scientists call homeostasis, will down-regulate its own dopamine production in response to an overabundance of external stimulation. This means that the more pleasure we seek from external sources, the less pleasure we are able to experience from the simple joys of life. We become tolerant, needing more and more stimulation to feel the same level of pleasure, and our baseline level of happiness drops. We are, as Lembke suggests, titillating ourselves to death. Her work highlights a crucial concept, the pleasure-pain balance. Imagine a seesaw in your brain. When you experience pleasure, one side goes up, but the brain, in its wisdom, will always try to level the seesaw. It does this by activating the pain side. This is why the high from a drug is often followed by a crash, why a night of binge watching leaves you feeling lethargic and unmotivated the next day. The more we bombard our brains with high dopamine stimuli, the more our seesaw tilts towards the side of pain, leaving us feeling anxious, depressed, and anhedonic, the inability to feel pleasure at all. We are, in a very real sense, digging our own graves with the spoons of instant gratification. So, how do we climb out of this digital rabbit hole? How do we reclaim our attention, our motivation, and our joy? It's not about demonizing technology or retreating from the modern world. It's about finding balance, about becoming conscious consumers of the digital world rather than passive slaves to its algorithms. Dr. Lembke offers a powerful starting point, abstinence, a dopamine fast as it's sometimes called. This doesn't mean you have to throw your phone into the ocean, though the thought might be tempting. It's about intentionally stepping away from our high dopamine behaviors for a period of time to allow our brains to reset. Here are two practical ways to start reducing our dependency on screens and social media, inspired by the principles of neuroscience and the wisdom of experts like Dr. Lembke. The first is to create sacred, screen-free spaces and times. This is about setting clear boundaries. Your bedroom, for example, should be a sanctuary for sleep and intimacy, not a portal to the endless scroll. Make a conscious decision to leave your phone outside the bedroom. Similarly, mealtimes are an opportunity for connection, for savoring your food, and for being present with yourself or with loved ones. Make them a no-phone zone. The first hour of your day and the last hour before you go to sleep are particularly vulnerable to the allure of the screen. Reclaim these precious moments for activities that nourish your soul. Reading a book, meditating, journaling, or simply sitting in silence and allowing your thoughts to wander. By creating these digital-free zones, you are giving your brain a much-needed break from the constant onslaught of stimulation, allowing your dopamine receptors to recover and your mind to find its own natural rhythm. The second, and perhaps more profound strategy, is to replace passive consumption with active creation and connection. Our brains are not designed to be passive receptacles of information. We are wired to create, to learn, to engage with the world in a meaningful way. Instead of endlessly scrolling through the lives of others, what if you dedicated that time to creating something of your own? Write a poem, learn to play an instrument, start a garden, cook a new recipe, or work on a project that truly excites you. These activities, which engage the prefrontal cortex, provide a more sustainable and fulfilling source of dopamine than the fleeting highs of social media. Furthermore, prioritize real-world connection. Call a friend instead of sending a text. Meet for coffee instead of exchanging DMS. Join a club or a group that shares your interests. Human connection is one of the most powerful and natural ways to boost our well-being, and it's something that no amount of online interaction can ever truly replicate. If you're finding this content helpful and it's resonating with you, I'd like to ask for a small favor. Please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Your support helps this channel grow and allows me to continue creating content like this. And don't forget to share this with someone who might need to hear it, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your own experiences with the Des-Dopamine Nation. As we draw this chronicle to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought, a gentle whisper of encouragement. The journey out of the Des-Dopamine Nation is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making small, conscious choices every day that align with the life you truly want to live. There will be times when you slip up, when the siren song of the scroll becomes too loud to resist. And that's okay. The key is to be kind to yourself, to pick yourself up, and to gently guide yourself back to the path of intention. Beneath the clamor of notifications, the endless stream of content, and the curated perfection of social media, there is a quieter, more authentic voice. It's your inner voice, the voice of your true self. It whispers of your dreams, your passions, your deepest desires. It's a voice that has been drowned out by the noise of the digital world, but it has never truly disappeared. The challenge and the invitation is to create the silence necessary to hear it again. It's in the moments of stillness, in the breaks from the screen, in the conscious engagement with the real world that this voice begins to emerge. Listen to it. Trust it. Let it be your guide, for it is this voice and not the algorithm that holds the key to your happiness, your fulfillment, and your freedom. You are not a passive consumer of a life designed by others. You are the creator of your own. It's time to pick up the pen, to paint the canvas, to compose the symphony of your one precious life. The world is waiting, and more importantly, you are waiting for you.